Welcome to Rich Lieberman. I have some breaking news. It's actually been out for hours now, but I'm going to give you the non bullshit. Jim Rose has been KRON's, excuse me, general manager for about 3 years. So Jim Rose is now out at KRON. He's posted various things on social media talking about he and his husband, he's gay, uh, are going to pursue other ventures, and that he's saddened that there's a new chapter in his life. Folks, why do you come here? Because you want to get the real deal. Okay, there's nothing nefarious or sinister about what what has transpired. Rose is gone because Nexstar was about to fire him because he's now was an underperforming general manager. If you look back at my postings, just Google my name and Jim Rose. He has been on Nexstar's hit list for some time now. They're very, very unhappy with KRON's progressions or lack of progressions, and they were about to fire his ass. But instead, they made some kind of a deal, I'd imagine. And when I say deal, probably something to the effect of, look, we're going to get rid of you, but we're going to give you some type of offer to get out. Why? Because they were unhappy, I should say. They were unhappy with the way KRON was performing or not performing. By the way, an aside story, the next guy to probably be gone, one way or the other, however you want to, by definition, define it, is the news director, Josh Palevsky, who has Aaron Pirro, who used to be the loudmouth, screaming lunatic kind of a guy, news director at KRON. So Palevsky is a disciple of both Pirro and now the soon outed, in terms of his job, Jim Rose. Why? Because with all these maneuverings that KRON's been doing by way of Nexstar, and them concentrating a lot on San Francisco. They don't have many major market stations, but they care a lot, obviously, about San Francisco, and they were not happy the way the station was being run. Why? We'll look at the ratings. They were up, then they're down, then they were real down. There's people leaving again, and a lot of that has to do with the fact that KRON doesn't pay a lot, that their reporters are very, very, talk about out of college. The anchors, all the people, once again, media outlet, a lot of good people leaving, some not so good. But the bottom line is the bullshit that is put out. I mean, this guy could have just taken off and left it at that. Instead, he puts out these bullshit things on LinkedIn. News Blues had a story today, and they don't cover anything. It's like it's a trade. Used to be a really good trade, no longer. But Jim Rose is gone because he was either going to get fired or they were going to tell him to leave. They made a deal, some negotiated exit. Nexstar's not a very good company. They also don't know how to run media outlets these days. Seems like all the terrible corporate companies are running media today, whether it's radio, whether it's television in this case, or newspapers. In any event, Rose didn't just leave and puts out all this bullshit. People at KRON, they know the story, at least most of them. This guy was not running KRON right. No missive, no cohesion, no foresight as to how to run a television news operation. And yes, a lot of the decisions of late have been made by Nexstar, but that should tell you a lot about why one of the many reasons that Jim Rose is out. Again, wasn't out because he suddenly wanted to change his lifestyle and I mean that professionally, move into another direction. He was gone because they told him they were about to get rid of him and probably gave him some modest pay package to say sayonara. But you get these goddamn press release type of postings on social media, and it is nothing. And I do mean nothing with a capital N, nothing about why they really are gone. He's going to stay on till August. I bet the people at KRON are in tears. No, they're not. They understand. Frankly, I don't know. I don't know who can actually run KRON and make a big of an impact to where there is true management, direction, a philosophy about how we're going to get out of this wilderness that we're in. And again, a lot of it has to do with money. They don't have much money like everybody else. I give them credit for trying a lot of things in news, enhancing news in some instances, maybe adding news. But you got to have the talent. You got to have the good people, not just on the camera, but off too. It's almost impossible. But they do have some advantages. They're not out in the abyss. They have some capable people at KRON. It's just the fact that they have no leadership. There's no leadership. Rose, I'll give him a little bit of a defense, some of it way beyond his pay grade, because Next Star is so goddamn screwed up. And they have a CEO that gets a lot of money that they feed off of and bonuses. And meanwhile, rank and file gets screwed. And KRON, they're just helpless. But I hate people who put out bullshit. It really is. That's what it is, folks. It's bullshit. It drives me crazy. And KRON people know this. They understand what Jim Rose, the real reason why he's gone. And if they don't, they do now. They do now. You don't know how to run a television news operation. You have responsibilities. They give you some leeway, Rose. They did with him. They give you some leeway, and it's not just human transactions, philosophy, and a certain type of direction of where you're going to go. What are you going to do? Who are you going to hire? And what kind of news director are you going to have? What type of philosophy are you going to put forward? There's no communication. There's no people communication, which is one of the reasons why Rose was going to be terminated and let go, because he didn't know how to communicate with people. How basic an operation. That doesn't require a lot of money. That doesn't require a whole lot of intuitiveness. You have meetings, not just to have meetings, you exude a philosophy as to what you want, and you interact with personnel. Rose did nothing of the kind. He was ineffective. Some of it, again, not his doing, but you can try. You can put forth a determined type of missive. Like, what are you going to do? Some of the things, some of the ideas, it doesn't have to always be bullshit. It can be a just simple, folks, here's my philosophy. This is what I want to accomplish, and I need your help. Something like that. Wasn't happening. Didn't happen. The guy had no PR prowess, had no foresight, no iota of pragmatism, and so therefore he's gone. Some at KRON say good riddance. Most of the workers at KRON, the rank and file folks, they understand what's going on. But in case you didn't, this is the real deal, not the bullshit posturings put out by Jim Rose on social media. They're just that bullshit. Now you have the real story, which is one of the reasons, among many, you come here. Please contribute to my cause so I can continue to give you the real deal.